it was probably just like a gut reaction, being like, "Hey, we should probably whilst this is going on, we shouldn't really be feeding this." Which I mean, we saw literally a couple of hours later when obviously all the PogChamp stuff happened.
Yeah, and
that was crazy.
Yeah, there's no PogChamp. Actually, who's PogChamp right now? Because I think there's like a different PogChamp every week.
Who is the current Pog?
I forgot what his name. It's Revel something, I think.
I forgot his name.
Who is PogChamp right now?
I saw the tweet for it earlier.
But yeah, what a brilliant idea that was, though.
It is.
Now it's this guy right here.
Yeah,
it's that guy. There he is. I don't know who it is, but that's the PogChamp right now.
This is PogChamp.
So yeah,
that's PogChamp right now.
They're basically what they did is the face of PogChamp. He tended not to be a very good dude based on what he was saying during all of these events.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, and Twitch were like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna remove you." And then someone was like, "Well, PogChamp's like a big part of Twitch, so instead of just removing the emote entirely, let's make it a cycle thing where it's a new PogChamp every 24 hours." And Twitch, amazingly, after 2020 being their worst year for this,
yeah, we're like, let's go with it. And we spend a lot of time on this show tearing Twitch down and berating them for stupid decisions. I think it is only fair if we turn around and praise them for a good decision. And Twitch has had a pretty good start to it's only been 10 days. They've got plenty of time to fuck it up.
Well, I'm still on about the multi-stream shit because that stopped. Basically stopped all of December. From when it was announced, it was there for about 2 weeks.
But that's never changed.
Then it went.
And I think Twitch needs to do something to help to make it so affiliates can do it. But I also can understand somewhat. From a business standpoint, I think Twitch needs to come up with some sort of agreement with these third parties. I can't necessarily say that they're bad people for not necessarily putting third parties on the platform.
Just make an official one.
Yeah. Just make it official.
Make an official.
Do one for partners.
Give affiliates the ability to actually co-stream like we've been asking for the past 3 years when you promised us.
And what
TwitchCon
that
it was coming soon.
And the thing with this is you have and I'm sure we're going to talk about this later on because I'm sure it's going to get brought up again because streamer Twitter is basically on repeat every 3 months. But there's a lot of partners that feel like partners becoming less important and it's becoming meaningless to an extent because affiliates get everything partners have, right? They have emotes, they get subs. You don't have to get a partner to hit 10,000 subs. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like so.
That was A9, by the way, who suggested the PogChamp cycle. John Plop, who does the PC gaming show every year.
Yeah,
as well as a bunch of other stuff.
And so. You know, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? I had it, and then David redirected me.
You were talking about the value of partners.
Oh, yeah. The value of partners, right? So, everyone talks about how partners, losing value, and affiliates get everything they want, everything partners have, and I don't feel it, There's so many things that come with getting that check mark. Because not only do you get other opportunities for being a partner, but it's also kind of a status symbol, if you will. Like, you earn that check mark, right? Like, it's not so much, you don't get the check mark and all of a sudden you're a successful streamer, right? We've seen more than one partner streamer flounder after they got it, right? But that check mark is sort of an accomplishment feeling going, I have an established community. I have an established presence on the platform. I actually have a voice that matters. I mean, we all have a voice that matters, but that partner symbol kind of cements that mentality.
We've discussed it multiple times on the show as well. Ways that they could make it so affiliates have more access to stuff while still keeping some advantages to partners.
Yeah.
A couple of shows before our last one, I even brought up the idea that I would personally like is I'd much rather it if, as an affiliate, I got access to more tier 1 emotes, but I didn't get access to tier 2 and tier 3 emotes.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. You know?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, the emotes that I have in tier 2 and tier 3, just, you know, it's like I'd be perfectly fine with having to get to that level, per se, to get the privileges to get those extra emotes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you know, there's ways they can work around it, and it's such a weird thing. And Twitch is kind of notorious for doing this, as much as they're trying, like they are trying to give them some credit. You know, like stuff like the what is it? This like the watch party stream team thing. What is like I can't remember the term they used for it. But like, it's weird that they haven't done that for affiliates when they know a lot of affiliates do it via third parties, and instead of just providing the tools to do it, they're attacking the ways they're currently doing it and not providing an alternative for them to use. And that's kind of the issue with Twitch as a platform, is that they don't take the simple route towards something.
No, it has been the most complicated way to get there.
Yeah, they throw a Hail Mary, and then when someone fumbles it, they go, oh fuck, and then like kind of scramble their way back.
Well, they said that they would be rolling it out to affiliates, because that was what, TwitchCon like 2 years ago when they said that?
It was a while ago.
And they said, we're starting with partners, and then we'll roll it out to affiliates. It's coming soon. And then, like, partners got it, and then affiliates have just heard fuck all out of it about the topic.
We got Golden Kappa, though.
Yeah, we got.
Thank God for Golden Kappa.
Yeah. So they like to throw those out there for some reason, and then never follow up on them.
Like the weirdest thing for me about this whole thing with like the co-streaming part is affiliates are more likely to co-stream with other streamers. In my opinion, that I've seen, I haven't seen many partners streaming with another streamer.
Unless that's their whole gimmick. Yeah, like, there are some partners that
where it's like, I've noticed as well, because I've seen people play with other people, but I don't know, they tend to be like, well, this is what I'm doing, and then I don't know, once every couple of weeks they'd be like, let's get together and do something, and then they go back to doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. On the wide variety, obviously, there's people that do otherwise. You know, for example, if we ever got the partners, we'd sure as shit just continue what we're doing because it's just funny. Just enjoy doing it. It's good memes.
Absolutely.
But you know what I mean? There's always that kind of like divide where you have a lot of affiliates, and maybe it's just because there's a lot more of us, so we're seeing a lot more people wanting to use these features but aren't getting the opportunity to, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the more of something there is, the larger of a percentage of something there seems to be, when it might not be necessarily the case, you know? But just a matter of being like, there's a lot of us, we could really do with it. Hey.
It's something we'd really like to have, maybe. I don't know.
And the one thing with Twitch is, the issue that I have with Twitch still, that they have not fully rectified, they're working on it, they haven't fully rectified it, is Twitch tends to pick and choose the topics and issues that they want to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you still got abusers on your platform that have evidence. Not the whole accusation but no evidence to back it up. No, you have people on your platform that have been proven that they are criminals. And nothing's done about them. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do on your platform, and you've not removed them. But you're very quick to get rid of PogChamp. And I understand why they did it. The guy was, he's said a lot of really dumb shit over the last 2 years, apparently. I don't follow him. But
yeah, I don't
it's funny because because no one really knows who the guy was. They just know who PogChamp is, right? But no one actually knows who the guy that the emote is about.
Really? I was speaking to a Mandalorian about this. She didn't even know that it had been deleted off the platform when it had happened. She didn't even know that there was a creator behind it.
It's the same with Bless RNG. I always assumed Bless RNG was just a member of Twitch staff. Like, he was just a dude who like
Yeah,
helped
I
Twitch.
assumed
Yeah.
that most of like the global emotes were somehow like Twitch staff or streamers that were related to Twitch staff, but like not necessarily like big
I knew,
streamer presences, kind of.
I knew PogChamp was a streamer. I just didn't know that if he was still a streamer or how long he hadn't been one.
Yeah.
The only one that I know was a creator was Lol, and that's because it was Total Biscuit. That's the only one I knew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I understand why they took him off. I'm not going to say I don't agree with it. I can see where it would be a little bit of a clash of opinions, as is always when you decide to take a party side. But I feel like once you cross the bridge that he was, where you're like inciting violence at this point, which he was, you got to take a stand. You have to take a stand to show that, for Twitch's case, to show that you're redeemable, because that's the biggest issue with Twitch right now is we don't know if they're redeemable.
A lot of people are losing faith. The big thing with PogChamp, and I think there's a lot. What a lot of people need to kind of realize when it comes to these companies is that they're companies at the end of the day, and something like PogChamp, that's a very minor thing for them to do that has a big impact and looks big. Like, it doesn't really matter. They could have kept it on there. I don't think many people would have cared for a while, to be honest. Unless it, like, blew up. I think more people care now because it's been removed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, like, a very small thing for them to do.
If you looked at his tweets don't get a lot of reactions.
Yeah, they removed like a 70, what is it, like a 78 by 78 size emote, like image from a channel. That's it.
Yeah.
They removed that from Twitch. It's literally nothing. And then on top of that, they get a good PR move out of it by taking that Day9 suggestion and spinning it into something. Whereas when you have the things like, you should do this and this and this and this and this, the issue is that has wider implications. And whilst I think they should do it, like stuff like putting more restrictive measures in to protect people or whatever, you know what I mean, from like horrible like racists and stuff like that. The reason they don't is because that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as a business, that's something that they can't really afford to do without consequences, financially speaking. And it sucks that that's the case, and I wish that they just do it anyway, in my opinion. But, it's a bit different when you have, like, the PogChamp thing, where it's just like, well, whatever, we can just remove this, it doesn't make a big deal. I don't think we've associated with this guy for many fucking years now. It's not
going to kill us to lose him.
That's kind of the argument that I've been making, because I've been making a lot of arguments lately on Facebook about the whole, like, is it censorship or is it freedom of speech kind of thing? Because
freedom
a lot
of
of people
speech does
feel
not
like,
defend you from consequence.
Exactly. So a lot of people, particularly like the right-wing people, are upset because people are getting removed from platforms and stuff like that for inciting violence. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, they were like, well, why are they only picking on them now when, they've been saying stuff for the past however long? And it's because their tweets or their Facebook posts have probably largely gone unnoticed because they've been innocuous enough that they weren't directly inciting violence or encouraging a coup against the government. And now suddenly you're inciting violence and you're calling for violence against elected officials, against, just regular everyday citizens. You're calling for violence against people, and that's against the terms of service. And now people are taking notice. And that's why everybody's getting deleted, because you've slipped by for so long, just like PogChamp did. And finally they were like, you know what? We're going to distance ourselves from this.
And someone made an excellent example of it, where they were talking about it like as if it was a restaurant. You know what I mean? Because that's what the thing, really. Whereas, like, if you went into a restaurant and someone was spouting off some like anti-Semitic shit or something, they'd get kicked out of the restaurant. And it's like, oh, you could make the argument that it's freedom of speech, and it's like, they have to write to believe that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean like they have the right to say it without any consequences happening.
Yeah.
They get removed from the restaurant the same way they're removed from Twitter, you know?
And I would like to say the First Amendment protects freedom of speech, but that is freedom of speech from being censored by the government, not by private entities. So if you're in a restaurant going off about some anti-Semitic tirade because you just can't stand Jewish people, the restaurant has every right to tell you to shut up and get out and shut your shit down. And it's not
like what Sheep said. You know,
yeah,
I feel like freedom of speech is bad, but that doesn't mean someone such as Twitch has says no. And that's the thing. Private institutions, they can work up their own rules, right? And that's you know, and it's funny that I do feel like, if I'm honest, a lot of the people, because Trump has been banned off of basically everything. His phone is practically a brick at this point. But I really do feel like over half of them only did it so they could say they banned Trump.
Yes.
Shopify and Spotify, both of them banning him? Come on. Snapchat? I didn't even know Donald Trump had a Snapchat.
Facebook did it literal months after helping his campaign run. You know, he paid Facebook to run misleading ads about TikTok in China. You know, they took that money, but they soon took
that money and then turned around and were like, you know what?
Yeah, you know, so they can do it. You know,
let me try to find the list of things that Trump's been banned from.
Like, I think the best way to put it is, like, just because you can say something publicly, it doesn't mean that it's a public space, you know, and a public service. and I think that's where people get confused. It's like, yeah, you can post your tweet and everyone can see your tweet, but that doesn't mean you're, like, that doesn't mean Twitter's the government, you know? It's not a public institution.
Yeah.
Well, another way to look at it is, you can say what you want, but it doesn't mean that other people have to take it into account.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the just general, like, constant in your face of social media, because social media is in everything now. Yeah. I mean, we have it with us 24/7. I think that, like, constant in your face aspect of social media has really also helped blur the lines between what is, you know, freedom of speech and what is just the freedom to say things if you want. You know, it's still completely different things.
In government for years to come, too, you know. That's just how it'll go down.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the, obviously moving on from the Trump stuff specifically, you know, it went even further where companies are distancing themselves from a platform in Parler for this exact same stuff, you know?
So, I do want to say, so when they say that Donald Trump has been banned from a lot of these apps, he doesn't necessarily have an account on them, but anything pro-Trump is being removed. So Reddit, anything that has President Trump communities have been banned. He does have a Twitch channel. That's gone. Shopify has been removing and deplatforming anything that sells Trump merchandise. Obviously, Twitter and Facebook banned his personal accounts. Google and Apple have been doing what they can to suspend Parler because Parler refuses to put any type of moderation plan. YouTube has been banned his official account, as well as been slowly removing anything that has been twisting rules and cannot verify that they are actually coming from well-sourced materials. Instagram is banned his official account, as well as anything with the hashtag Trump on it. Snapchat is banning anything with hashtag Trump on it. TikTok has banned hashtag Stop the Steal and hashtag QAnon, which is the funniest fucking thing ever, by the way.
I love the TikTok.
I like the things that I've seen that are saying that TikTok banned Trump before Trump could ban TikTok.
Yeah. Discord has banned the pro-Trump social network, the Donald.win, as well as the server, the Donald. Pinterest. Trump does not have a Pinterest account. However, the platform has tried to stay from political content, but Pinterest has not been able to squelch every single hashtag Trump, but they are in the process of doing so. And then, I don't know what Stripe is, but apparently Stripe will no longer process payments for President Trump's campaign, which continued to fundraise.
Yeah, Stripe is a payment processing.
Yeah.
Which whenever I see it, I'm like, is this safe? And I'm like, yeah, it's everywhere. But every time I see it, because...
Also, thank you for the subscription sheet.
Because of the first time I saw it, and I didn't know what it was, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, the fact that's the thing for me, the fact that Reddit stepped in and banned him, that's the mind fuck for me. Like, Reddit, the place where you
If you want the mind fuck of someone being banned, it's 4chan.
Well, 4chan is alt-right supremacy there, but the fact that Reddit, have you... Okay, let me finish. I'm sorry, no, let me finish, but let's think about this for a second. Reddit has the Reddit 50/50 challenge. Do you know what the Reddit 50/50 challenge is? It links you to something it's either something very pretty, or you watch someone get their fucking head cut off.
I've definitely seen my share of...
But is
going through
Reddit
those.
lets that shit go.
But is the Reddit 50/50 challenge starting an insurrection against a government? I don't think so.
They've had racist headings on there, so I mean, I don't know. But
I mean,
it's just
the one time that I did it, the
funny
one bad one I got was a dude that got split in half by a fucking lamppost. So you know,
it is funny that
I got one once where I saw a guy get electrocuted. So that was a
what are you
good
saying,
time.
Vivid?
you have like the Parler situation, and all the people on Twitter are going off about how it's going against their right to believe what they want to believe, which again we've discussed many times. It's not how it works, but it's this discussion about how like removing Parler, is taking this away from them, and how it's a damn shame, and how it's the liberal media like censoring them, and it's because people refuse to believe that Occam's razor is a thing because they're afraid they'll cut themselves on it. So it's always a conspiracy and something deeper than it actually is, which is just you're a piece of shit. But the problem with it is
you're a dumb piece of shit.
If you had this, like a platform like Parler, and they were letting terrorist organizations like ISIS run unmoderated and unchecked, these are the first people that would be calling for that platform to be removed.
Oh,
These are the same people that made such a huge fuss when WhatsApp initially refused to kind of hand out private information when it was found out that, like, essentially terrorists and extremists were using that as a platform. These are the same people that did that. And because it's them, it's them now. It's suddenly this terrible thing that shouldn't exist. Despite, it's the victim mentality of it all.
Oh, it is. They think, right now, they think that they are the victims and that they are being persecuted. This.